Well, he was born and raised in Knoxville, Iowa, and he has been raised in the shadows of Knoxville Raceway, a place in which he has inhabited for much of his career. We're going to be talking with Jamie Ball about his 2023 season and what their dreams and aspirations are for 2024, along with some other things along the way, along with his lovely wife, who is making a name for herself at opening ceremonies at big racing events across the country. That's coming up next on the Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. The Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast represents Knoxville, Iowa, drives the number 4W, and that is Jamie Ball. Jamie, so great to have you on here. I know that you're a busy individual, and I'm glad that we could schedule this interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, let's just kind of dig right into it. 2023 primarily spent at Knoxville Raceway. You wound up second in the owner's standings for the 360 division and third in the driver points. And 6 podiums, 11 top fives, 14 top 10s, and 21 feature starts. When you kind of like put it all together, would you say that it was a decent year for you guys or a pretty good year? How would you rate things?
Yeah, I'd say we were very consistent right out the gate. We switched a lot of things over the winter and went with a different type of car from Maxim chassis, switched to Vortex wings. I switched seats to Fiberworks, switched to CSI shocks, and just kind of decided we were going to start over. 2022, we were fast, but we crashed a couple times that kind of junked everything we had, and kind of thought it was a good time just to reset our program a little bit. And, you know, really we came out swinging. If it wasn't for the likes of the incredible talent of Chase Randall and Garrett Williamson, you know, I think you see those stats be even a little bit better, but they have definitely helped raise our game. And we were there. We were a factor. You know, they did beat us the majority of the time, but we were right there, and it's something that's only going to make our program better for years to come, thanks to them two and Aaron Reitzel pretty much.
I was going to say this year was super competitive as far as the type of quality in the 360 division at Knoxville, where you know, you have those drivers that you mentioned, and you have the always a threat to win guy like Clint Garner, and then you know, you've got some other drivers in there that run with the 360s, and it really makes it kind of an enjoyable division to watch. Not just the 410s or the pro sprints, but the 360s are just as fun to watch on Dirt Vision.
Yeah, of course, I'm probably a little bit biased, but I really think that the 360 program was the thing to watch at Knoxville this year, and one of the probably best things to watch all over the country on Dirt Vision. And it just, the level of talent, the quality of engines and cars, and the focus that all the drivers put in, you know, it was no easy feat to run top five. And kind of what I've been telling people this year is I've won 9 races at Knoxville, and I had to run every race harder this year to run second through fifth. Just the intensity and how hard you had to go at it, and you know, kind of how perfect you had to be. Like, you messed up a couple laps, Chase Randall made you wish that you didn't. And it just, those guys are so talented and so driven, and they're still young to where they're, you know, pedal to the metal, ready to go. No risk, no reward, I guess. And it's elevated our program to a new level, and it's been fun. You know, of course, not winning this year, we kind of feel like we're in a slump because it's been 2 years now since we won, but we are better than we've ever been. So we're excited for the future.
We had some decent results. A couple of times finished on the podium with the Sprint Invaders. Actually, second place finishes with them July 26th at Dubuque Fairgrounds Speedway, and then Lee County Speedway in Donaldson on September 22nd. Also a runner-up finish on championship night on August 26th at Knoxville.
Yeah, between those three, and then we went to, with the ASCS National Tour, we went to the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial down at Lucas Oil Speedway in September, and ended up third and then eighth on their final night. And it's just really been a testament to my dad more than anything, Larry Ball Jr. When we switched our program over to a bunch of different things, we really did it for the purpose of getting a better overall around package that would be good at short tracks, big tracks, anything. And I mean, I think it's no secret, I've been a Knoxville guy periodically pretty much my whole career, and struggled a little bit on the short track stuff. But with the new package that we've came up with, we really came out swinging at Dubuque and led, I think, the first half of the race before the bottom went away, and got beat by Paul Nienheiser, which is nothing to hang your head about. He's one of the best here locally in the Midwest. And, I've been beat by him quite a bit at Sprint Invader races. So it was a good building block for the rest of the year. And then ended up getting beat by Zane DeVault at Donaldson there in August or September, whatever that was. And if you paid attention to that guy at all recently, he's, in my opinion, one of the up-and-comers here that kind of put himself on the radar in that Jeremy Skadden number 6. And I think it's going to be one to watch too. So the way we've been able to compete with a very varying different level of competition on different size tracks is something that we're super excited about too. And with my program, we've been building up over the last 3 years since I took ownership in 2021. And we're kind of joking, the first year I had 1 car, second year I had 2 cars, last year I had 3, and now we're building a 4th one for next year. So we're just trying to do it to where it's something that I can afford, because I personally own all the equipment. Mm-hmm. And trying not to break myself. I know racing's not a money-making venture, but it's what gets me out of bed in the morning and makes me work 2 jobs. So it's all worth it in the end, I think.
No doubt, no doubt. And I'm glad you brought up some of those examples of some guys that run regularly with the Sprint Invaders. They may not go to Knoxville Raceway that often, but Paul Nienheiser definitely, he's so tough on what I like to call those river tracks, Donaldson, Davenport, Jacksonville, and Dubuque. And then Zane DeVault has just been like blossoming so much. I think he had a fantastic weekend with the Hurricane Area Sprints, Super Sprints in late October.
Yeah, and Zane, I honestly had no clue who the guy was. He showed up in Jeremy Skadden's number 6, and quickly I was let known of his talent. And, I think they got a good new Don Ott engine in the 360 program, and he's just, from the little bit I've talked to him, he's just a good guy. He wants to race. He's been given a good opportunity, and he's got one crew guy, and I give him crap because he's about 5.5 foot tall, and his crew guy's about 7 foot tall, and they're just polar opposites when you look at them, but they make a real good team. And, I think there's a lot of good people like him and Chase and Garrett that are kind of the future of the sport, that are doing it right and doing it with good people and kind of building their own programs and doing it their way. And I think it's kind of the new thing with, you see all these ride switching that everybody's been doing, and owners firing people at the drop of a hat regardless of results. And that's part of why I like where I'm at with my team, Jamie Ball Racing. We've got a good group of people behind us that, we're building it for the future. We're building it for longevity, and don't really have any plans to do anything else. Like I was telling you before we went here on the air, that I've never lived anywhere but Knoxville, and it's because of that racetrack here at Knoxville Raceway, and it's where I want to win. It's where I want to be on Saturdays, and God is good, man. Life is awesome.
Well, I'd never been to Knoxville before prior to this year, and I was just completely blown away. I knew that it was the mecca of sprint car racing. I knew the history, the prestige of it, but it's kind of like watching and reading and looking at things like about Disneyland or Disney World. It's sure, you can get a kind of a sense of how important it is, but to just go there and just take it all in, it's something else. It's definitely an experience I will never forget, and something I don't want to miss out ever in my life moving forward.
I love hearing things like that, being a Knoxville kid and growing up here, working here my whole life. I feel like sometimes I take it for granted that of what I have, here in my backyard, what I drive by every day. I run a lot, and I run through the racetrack. That's kind of one of my routes on my 3 to 5 mile runs that I go on. And I just bypass it sometimes. I go to church across the street, I celebrate church, go to the grocery store, sell real estate here. And it blows me away to think that our little town of 7,000 people is so important and means that much to everybody that's a sprint car fan. Because like you said, it is the mecca. It's the sprint car capital of the world, and it's the best place to be if you're a race fan. And like I said, sell real estate for Remax Precision. And out of the 6 years I've been selling real estate, I've probably sold 10 different homes to people that they either move here because they love the races, or they're retiring here because they want to be here all summer long. And it's just pretty cool to see. And when you take a step back and really appreciate it, it's something pretty awesome that we have.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy because, granted, I'm a procrastinator, so we'll get that out of the way. But for folks that are listening that have never been to this event, it was, 3 weeks or so ahead of the Knoxville Nationals, the 410 variety. and I was looking at hotel reservations, and at first it was like Osceola is where I was going to be staying, and then it ended up being Altoona because everything in the surrounding area is Newton, and obviously Knoxville was just completely sold out, filled out. I mean, it's like an army, literally. An army makes camp for a week, and everyone converges on that one point.
It's super cool. Like, my favorite part is the campers, the tents, the people that rent out their houses. And I truthfully have a handful of friends. I used to have a shop in town, or still do. We rent them out for guys now for race teams, 2 blocks away from the track. And I probably got 10 or 15 people that are truly some of my lifelong friends that started as campers, renting a spot from me for $50 a night. And that's probably one of my favorite things of the race community in general, not just Knoxville specifically, is that I've got friends all over the country, heck, even all over the world. It's just because we share a common love for sprint cars, and you don't have to see each other every day. You don't talk to each other. You know, it's not a long lost friend from high school that's upset you haven't reached out to them. It's just like you see them at the track and you pick right back up where you left off last year. Give them a little update of how life is, drink a beer, and talk about who threw the best fly job last night and who you think's going to win tonight.
Sure. Absolutely greatest kind of conversations right there. And my favorite part, but this is me because I'm just like a historical freak, the National Hall of Fame being in Knoxville. I was telling my buddy about it. It's like, man, if there would be one reason to move to Knoxville, it would just to be there and just be around all the stuff that I can research and all the stuff that I can just soak in and take. Because I was there for 4 or 5 days, and it nearly wasn't enough for just that one building to just kind of go through it. I went inside of it every single day.
It's really amazing. Bob Baker's a good friend of mine too. That's the director there at the Hall of Fame, and they have such a good selection that I tell people that you could go there every day and you'll see something the next day that it was there the day before. You just didn't see it because you were looking at something else. There's so much to read, so much to watch with their new movie theater that they have set up. And next time you come, if you holler at me before, I'll get you in. They've got a overflow building or two that has other cars and additional things that just aren't put in the museum yet or that have been donated. They get a lot of people that will their collection to them, and they've just got so much that, I mean, you could literally take a week off work and just do nothing but read old magazines and newspapers and look at trophies and diecast cars and memorabilia that just blow you away. And being a huge, I started out as a sprint car fan. I'm at race now, but I'm sprint car fan number one, and it's just the history of it truly amazes me.
I mean, I love that statement because at the end of the day, I really think we are at the end of the day, whether we're in broadcasting, we're in journalism, we're in wrenching on a car, owning a car, driving a car. At the very end of the day, we're race car fans, we're race car people, sprint car fans specifically in this case. And that's what I have to remind myself is we're just, you and I, we're lucky to be around it every single minute of the day pretty much. And it's definitely one of those pinch yourself moments.
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed. I was telling somebody the other day that, like, the hours and the amount of money that I spend on this race team and the sacrifice that it takes, I'm like, I could probably make a ton more money if I dedicated that just to doing some pencil pushing job where it was an hourly rate or I was, making more commission and working longer. But, what's the fun in that? I want to be around sprint cars, even if it doesn't make financial sense. We don't race for enough compared to what we spend. But, man, I've got some of the best friends and some of the best memories, and I get to do it all with my mom and dad and my wife and her parents, and it's just a blessing beyond belief.
No doubt. One of my best friends and mentor, Fred Renner Jr., who tutelaged me to become an announcer, really, at least to the next/elite level. He has the same thing. He's been involved in hockey stuff at some pretty big levels and still kind of is. But, and he's always went, you go to the reunions and stuff, and I'm sure it's the same with you of like, oh, like, what are you doing these days kind of thing. And, you see people that get successful and, more power to them, right? And, everyone has their different goals in life, but he's always told me, and I've always agreed with him, like, if it wasn't for the sport, I wouldn't have met as nearly as amazing people as I would have if I would have just been, like you said, doing something normal, or whatever that is. But doing the typical 9 to 5, the rat race kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what sprint cars really offers that people don't see or understand is that families like myself and my dad, I'm 33 years old, but I'm right here at the shop and my dad's here building a front end right now. I get to work with him every day. And I was even listening to an interview that the Chaz did with Dave Estep of RMS. And he was saying how he felt so lucky back in the day that when he went racing with his kids, he got to drive 12 hours each direction with them.
Yeah.
Think how many parents don't get to spend 24 hours in a week with their kids, let alone on a weekend. And what sprint cars or just racing in general has to offer. I don't care if it's go-karts or stock cars or sprint cars or World of Outlaws. You get to learn so much as a kid and as a young adult, and really you learn something new every day, and you learn to market yourself in relationships and networking and business and finances. Sprint car racing really offers it all, and it's an education that you can't go get anywhere else that they don't teach at college.
Yeah, no doubt. And, to be fair, there are days where you just kind of you start to question everything in life a little bit there, but it's also a very humbling experience too. I think it humbles us to make us appreciate it more, if that makes any sense. And I could be totally off with that statement.
No, I think you're right on. When you get in a slump in sprint cars or you tear some stuff up or you're just not winning, you definitely question, why am I spending this money? Why am I missing that birthday, that wedding, time with family, wife, kids, whatever. But man, on the days that you win or the days that you can take a breath and just be present in the moment and appreciate what's going on. I'm probably my number one in the moment every night at Knoxville is just during the national anthem. It's quiet. We're all representing our team and respecting our country. And I look at my team and everybody's hand on the heart, and we're all there for the right reasons, and I get to, like I said, do it with family and friends. And there's not a whole lot of things out there you can go do with family and friends as an adult and work towards one common goal. And it's just, sprint cars are awesome. If somebody's not a fan, give me the chance and I'll make you one.
No doubt. And you mentioned something really cool, with opening ceremonies and the national anthem. And obviously the one at Knoxville was incredible. But something that I found out through our mutual friend Wade Onger is that your wife was a major part of opening ceremonies.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I think it was actually during COVID. So she used to ride for a cowboy mounted, I guess what they call it, synchronized drill team down in Texas. And they did a lot of opening ceremony stuff and represented the United States and the flag, and just did it with that level of Texas pride, kind of the cowboy way, the Southern way. And
sure,
she brought it up here, and Kendra Jacobs is a good friend of ours, and Kendra kind of made it all happen. And JC's got a big, beautiful paint horse that's black and white that runs super fast and looks beautiful and is very well trained. And JC started doing that, and really it's kind of taken off. I don't want to say that she started it all, but there's racetracks all over the country now, dirt tracks that have horses and cowgirls carrying the American flag for opening ceremonies. And, she's done it at here at Knoxville. She's done it at Houston, thanks to Todd Quiring and Doug Johnson up there. Jerry Van Sickle had her do it at Marshalltown and at Boone for late models and Boone Super Nationals. And it's just something that amidst everything going on in the world, it's hard not to be touched by it. You can just feel the patrioticness of it, and just a moment to kind of escape away from the troubles and the chaos of the world that we all have and partake in something beautiful. And she does an extremely good job of that.
Well, and we did not discuss this off the air prior to this. So cool thing is I was at Super Nationals and I was at Knoxville Nationals. And I remember I was just kind of sitting next to my remote cam op guy, and I just had my mic in my hand, just kind of, because we were waiting for opening ceremonies, because it takes a lot. It's championship Saturday. I'm like, hold on, I'm going to take a break. There's a horse over here. And then, there's a horse behind turns 1 and 2, and they're just kind of getting it warmed up. And then, it wasn't your wife, JC. It was her assistant, I don't think handler, horse holder. So I don't know what the problem.
Yeah, it would have been her.
Yeah,
her mom Terry.
Okay, and she's and she's like, hey, if you are you going to take any pictures and stuff? I'm like, well, I always like to ask as much as I can, and yeah, I'll take some pictures. because I was making a TikTok or trying to be creative or something, and she's like, "Oh yeah, cool." And well, anyways, and it's a great thing that we connected because I can send you videos that I have of your wife, as bad as that sounds to you, but no, super nice, super. But I didn't put the connection together because Terry was saying, "Oh yeah, her name's JC Ball. She's from College Station, Texas, home of Go Aggies." I'm sure you hear that a lot, but
Giga Maggies, but
yeah, 12th man. And anywho, I'm like, huh, okay. And then but she moved up here. I'm like, all right, sounds good. But I wasn't putting the connection together. And then Wade had a picture of you, her, and Panda. Panda's the name of the horse, right?
yes.
Okay. And then I think you and your sprint car, and it's in front of like the front straightaway at Knoxville. I'm like, holy smokes, like revelation here. And so anyways, that was just a cool moment that I had to share with you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. She would love to have the pictures and video. And like I said, she just really enjoys doing it. It's a way that, so she does cowboy mounted shooting, shoots Colt 45 handguns and rifles off horseback professionally. And unfortunately, her season's the exact same time as sprint car season. So we really don't get to spend a lot of time together, but the couple weekends that she can make it out and can do that and be a part of the whole racing scene is really good for both of us.
Well, and something interesting that Terry was telling me about with Panda, because I remember Knoxville Nationals opening ceremonies. It was pretty loud, and I think they had some fireworks go off, and I was standing next to somebody or was around somebody that I'm really good friends with, and they're like, "Man, how's that horse not like, bolting and scooting?" I'm like, "Oh, well," and here's another, historical or a nerd confession thing. I used to do Civil War reenacting, and there was cavalry horses used a lot, but they were gun trained. I'm like, "Oh, it's got to be gun trained." And then I was talking to Terry, and she's like, "No, this horse isn't gun trained. It's just a really, really good horse." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I did not know that." So that was super cool to learn.
Yeah, we joke that Panda's kind of a diva. She can kind of be a little act up before, but I swear the second she crosses the pit gate, she like puffs her chest out, runs beautifully, is not scared by nothing, listens to every cue that JC gives her, and has just been super perfect. It's wild. It's like when the fireworks go off and at nationals with whatever there is, 18,000 people on the front stretch that pretty much all cheer in unison. It's like she's like, "This is my moment. This is what I was made for." And it just funny how horses seem to have a personality too.
Sure. Yes, no doubt. And I know that you're pressed for time and everything, and will most definitely be checking in throughout the year. But 2024, I mean, it's no secret, it's wild, and a lot of guys are kind of sitting waiting things out. Are you kind of in that same boat, or are you guys kind of have a good idea what you guys want to accomplish next year?
No, we've got a very good plan. War of Outlaws or High Limit All Stars, whatever, has nothing to do with me. I work two jobs for a living here at Higher View, selling commercial equipment, and Remax Precision selling real estate. So I've got to be home, and I'm 33, and JC and I've been married a couple of years, so I'm not looking to go on the road. So we have pretty big plans for next year. We're going to do double duty at Knoxville every night with 360 and 410. The little bit that we did that last year, I feel really elevated me and kind of made the difference and got me closer to the Chase Randall, Garrett Williamson, Aaron Reitzel level. You just are, when you do double duty, you're never off the track more than 30 minutes. So you're very up to date on it. And it really gave me their intensity kind of in my own 360 program because I knew what I just did in the 410. And we had pretty good success. My father-in-law and mother-in-law bought me a brand new Charlie Fisher race engines right before nationals last year, and we never qualified out of the top 7 at all national events and all stars and Cappy and everything like that. So we've got the speed. We just got to fine tune some things in the feature, and I think really we can be a threat to win at least one race or something next year, hopefully, and go from there. But just with my business schedule, if I can run double duty and knock out say 15 double duty nights, give me 30 A mains, but only do it in 15 nights is something that's big for me because I can afford the time to work on it at late at night or on the weekends, but I just really can't afford that extra day of travel that it takes to do a lot of these races. So focusing on double duty, and then come July, August, September, October, we'll probably try to hit 10 to 15 traveling races, kind of with Sprint Invaders, ASCS, maybe Power I-410 or MOA IRA, something like that, and just, let it all hang out and have fun. It's point racing at Knoxville is great if you're in the hunt or if you win it, but other than that, point racing can kind of take a little bit of the fun off or a little bit of the fun out of it. And we really enjoyed going to some of those races later this year and just having fun one night at a time. So if I could run 40 races total between 360 and 410 next year and do it all here in the 4W with my family and friends, it'd be a true blessing.
Well, I was gonna agree with you on your speed that you showed, especially on your preliminary night. You were ultra fast, and I think you got nipped on the last lap. I think was it Tasker Phillips got you, but
yeah, I missed the bottom off of 2, and he got me going into 3.
Yeah, one spot from making in the show, but you did make the B main, which I mean, like I'm just Joe Nobody here, and the goal is to get in the feature, but with the amount of cars and talent there, 100 and something cars qualified, and to be technically in the top 40-ish is nothing to really slouch at or look down upon.
No, we were very happy. I mean, having speed and qualifying in a 410 is what sets up your entire night. So if we got that part out of the way already, and then I just got to fine tune the race part, I know we can do that. So it gave us a lot of hope, and truthfully, nationals went well. I mean, we were probably maybe a little let down because I feel like we actually did have a legit chance if things went a little differently to lock in. Even on the Hard Knocks night, I was racing Wimmer for 4th and slid him for 4th for one of the lock-in spots and had a yellow, and got a little impatient and drove stupid after that and burnt the tires up and fell back to like 14th. But live and learn, and I think we can definitely, with our good qualifying effort, be able to lock in next year or the year after that. And like I said, just have fun. I don't do it for a living, so racing is a opportunity that I have, not something that I have to do. And it's been fun when I've brought it back to that. And doing the 410, my father-in-law, it was all his idea. I kind of wrote off, I've always had a dream of winning a 410 race at Knoxville, to be one of the first guys to do it in what I call the correct order, winning a 305 feature, then a 360 feature, and then a 410 feature. I think the first guy to do it from those levels. And when he decided that he thought I'd be good enough in it and made it happen for us, kind of reignited that spark that I do want to be a successful 410 driver at Knoxville, whether it be full-time or not, I don't know, but we're going to do 360 for points and use the 410 as a kind of a stepping stone to see where the future takes us. So 410's awesome. You go drive a 360 and then drive a 410, and you want to drive a 410 all, whether you're winning or not, driving a 410 is more fun. So
sure,
it's going to be a great 2024, I think.
Awesome. And then as far as results or like a updated schedule, as far as some of those out of Knoxville races, is there a good website or social media page that people can hunt down that information when you're able to release it?
Yeah, I've got a beautiful website for my race pass. If you go to jamieball.com, that'll take you to a splash page where you can choose racing or my real estate page. So if you're looking for a house, you can do that too there. Got to throw those shameless plugs in.
No, go for it.
And then on Facebook, just to be at JBR4W, Jamie Ball Racing. We keep everything pretty up to date. We've got some better plans next year to kind of try to elevate some of my social media game for everything that I do, with higher view truck sales to trying to amp things up for Remax Precision Realty stuff, and Jamie Ball Racing. We do some charity stuff with Best Christmas Ever, and my wife's kind of been the biggest part of all that because she, doing her cowboy mounted shooting, she's changed the game in that in terms of graphics and videos and social media, and brought it to the cowboy mounted shooting world. And what I love about it is she's kind of taken some of the sprint car playbooks and inserted it there, and she's really excelled and got a lot of sponsors herself. So we're hoping to keep everybody a little bit better up to date next year with some content that's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing.
That's wonderful. And speaking of sponsors, people or marketing partners or even individuals you'd like to thank?
Yeah, probably first and foremost would be my crew. I mean, none of this would happen without my dad. He is the glue that holds the team together. He's the brains behind the setups and everything. My mom, she's wonderful and doesn't stress out too much anymore as she's gotten more comfortable with my racing. And then my wife, JC, and her family, Ralph and Terry and Kyle with Accurate Machine Works and Boomerang Transit. have been a huge blessing. They own the shop that we're in out here, and it's a absolute dream shop that I never thought I'd have. And their belief in me means the world. And then crew guys, Jacob Engel, my right hand man, Brandon Dunkerson, my cousin Tyler Peterson, and Kelly and Glenda Carlson, and then probably our newest sponsor and really lifelong friend as well, Tracy Cash Racing, have really stepped up to help us out. And then we have local sponsors, Randall Roofing, Mike Kleck Paving and Seal Coating is actually a client of mine from Pennsylvania, out from Port Royal, that I sold a house to that he has out here. And then Center Farms from Osceola, Arkansas, a big farmer. He owns one of the 360 engines that we have. And then just everybody from Maxim Chassis, Fisher Racing Engines, Kaiser Wheels, Vortex Wings. Just, I don't know. It takes an army. And I know, as cliche as it is, you hear Brian Brown or Donnie Schatz say it all the time, but I'm just lucky one that gets to drive it. I do pay the bills now, but it's definitely with the help of tons of people. There's not one person that makes it happen. There is an absolute group, and it's a group that's just fun to be around. That, this year we didn't win, but we ran second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever it was. We had a good night and had a victory fuel or a Coors Light afterwards, and just enjoyed each other and took what we could and learned for the next week and focused on getting better. And I think, really being positive and just having fun has been the biggest change to my life in recent years that's just made me enjoy everything.
That's wonderful to hear. And something I failed to mention, so forgive me, is apparel, sweatshirts or hoodies, websites and social media. That's a great way to get for folks to get on board and then make purchases to help support your team monetarily.
Yeah, we don't have nothing online really, but we always do 2, 3, 4 different editions of shirts and hats each year. Mainly just available at the trailer. Can't really afford to go do a t-shirt trailer or nothing like some of the guys. Some of the prices on these t-shirt trailers are blowing me away on how many shirts I have to sell. So
sure.
Directly out of the trailer, but yeah, just pay attention online and we'll post new things there. Probably Facebook's our number one. Personally, I use Twitter all the time, but that's probably more for being a fan of racing than it is actually race page stuff. But
yeah,
I'm pretty open no matter what social media it is. I'm pretty open all over. So everybody's welcome.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have this interview with you, Jamie, and we're definitely going to need to do a part 2 because there's a whole bunch of questions I got for you. But I hope that the off season, the building up of all the cars goes smooth and everything, and there's no hiccups, and that we'll definitely be chatting, and probably before the season starts.
Yeah, sounds great. Happy to talk anytime. My family always says that I can talk about anything forever. So anytime you want to call and talk, just let me know. We're happy to be part of the show. And next time you're in Knoxville, give me a shout.
Well, that is going to do it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on whatever platform you found this interview at. It really helps us grow the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll be back with more content and interviews in the future. Be sure and have a great evening or a great rest of your day, whatever time you're listening.